Hello, this is Kip Bodner from North Carolina Wine TV, and we're here with George Denka, president of Shelton Vineyards. George,
hello, Kip. Good to
doing
be here.
well. Thanks for having us here today.
Well, you're welcome. We're happy to have you.
And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Shelton Vineyards and kind of get a little bit of information from you, George. So for folks who may not be familiar with Shelton Vineyards, give them just a little background where you guys are located, what the history of the winery is.
Well, we're located in Dobson, about 2 miles off of I-77 at exit 93. So we're at the northern gateway to the Yadkin Valley. And our owners, Ed and Charlie Shelton, kind of had a vision back in the mid-90s. They actually bought this property, which was an old dairy farm, in 94. And after about 5 years, decided they wanted to do a vineyard. Got a little carried away in their hobby, and now we have a 33,000 square foot state-of-the-art winery, in addition to 150 acres of vines. But we've been here for a while. They felt like it was a great way to help revive the economy in their home county. With this economy here has been driven in the past by tobacco, textiles, and furniture. And they felt that wineries in the area would be a great opportunity to spur a new industry, agritourism.
Very cool. So talk to us a little bit, what type of grape varietals do you grow here? What type of wines produced here at Shelton?
Well, it's all Vitis vinifera, which are the European style grapes, your traditional Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Chardonnay, Riesling, Syrah, Petit Verdot, Tannat, Merlot, Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling. So we actually grow 11 different varieties currently. We've had as many as 15 different varieties. Some work better than others, and we've ripped those that didn't work well.
Of course, right? And something we found really unique about Shelton Vineyards, you guys have the wineometer on the back of your wine bottles. And so if somebody's in the grocery store checking out the bottle of Shelton Vineyards, it has a wineometer. And I've heard that was your idea, so could you tell us a little bit about how that came about and what that is exactly?
Well, yeah, actually that's an idea I've had for a number of years. I've been in the business quite a while, probably longer than you are, about 34 years. Many years ago, I was doing a wine tasting in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And someone from Canada came in, and we were tasting wine, and a lady asked me, well, is it a 5 or a 6? I had never heard that. I said, what are you talking about? Well, in Canada, we have a numerical scoring system based on the relative sweetness. And that registered. I wasn't in a position to do anything at that time. But once I came to Shelton Vineyards, that was one of the changes we felt would be beneficial to make our wine a little more user-friendly. One of the most frustrating things for a consumer is to go into a store, be faced with 400 different selections, and not know a thing about those wines. And often the prose on the back label has nothing to do with what's really in the bottle. So we wanted to take that element out of it and put a very simple numerical scoring system, if you will, on the back on a 1 to 10 scale on how lighter or heavy a wine is and how dry or sweet it is. And the reception from the public has been very positive.
Great. Well, that being said, let's talk a little bit about North Carolina wine in general. I mean, what do you think, folks that are watching our show are interested in North Carolina wine, maybe they've stumbled across us because they want to know more about North Carolina wine, including Shelton and everyone else. What do you think are, some of the things people should know, maybe some misconceptions, anything you think about the industry in general?
Great. That's a good question, and not an easy question to answer.
Right, obviously.
A lot of people are confused about North Carolina wine, about the identity of the wine. First of all, North Carolina, I think, has the most diverse wine industry of any state in the Union. We're one of the few states, if not the only state, that grows muscadine. We grow hybrids. We grow Vitis labrusca, which is the Concord family, and Vitis vinifera. And wines are produced from all of those grape species. And they all have different taste profiles. So I guess the primary point is, if you like wine, I would recommend trying all of those varieties. Simply because they're going to cross a broad spectrum of taste profiles, and certainly there's something there that you can enjoy. The other thing I think is North Carolina wines, as we've proven in our Shelton Vineyards challenges, I think from a quality perspective are the equal to wines anywhere in the world. There truly are world-class wines being made in this state, and at the same time, the only way you're going to discover them is to get out and try them. It's really very interesting. If you live in Winston-Salem, Charlotte, Greensboro, even Raleigh, you're as close to the wine country in this state as they are in San Francisco.
Right, exactly. You're an hour to 2 hours away from everything, right? And so I wouldn't be, fitting to close out our little interview here, but I didn't ask you, so what do you really like? What's, a great varietal or type of wine that you really enjoy?
Well, my personal preference of our wine is our Cabernet Sauvignon. I think Murphy Moore, our winemaker, is doing a very nice job with that. It does have a tendency to be different from vintage to vintage. We have wide spreads in stylistic differences from vintage to vintage because our weather is so variable. We're not as predictable here as the Napa Valley. But when it's good, it can be very good. I also think Cabernet Franc and Merlot are particularly good reds. They are a little early ripening versus the Cabernet Sauvignon and are producing some really nice fruit. That being said, we're probably known most for our Riesling. It has a big following here, and that was one that was a surprise to us. We really didn't think it was going to work, and it's worked well beyond our wildest expectations.
Something a lot of people like, right?
Absolutely. And I think everybody's doing pretty credible Chardonnay these days.
Yeah, very cool. Well, George, thank you for having us here at Shelton Vineyards today. We really appreciate taking a few minutes to talk with us today.
You're welcome. It's been our pleasure. We appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it.
Thank you.